Hello everyone, welcome to a F1 23 MyTeam career mode. We are going to be starting as a newcomer, so we are going to be going from the back of the grid all the way to the front and hopefully fighting for a championship. We have gone with the Red Bull powertrain and our teammate is Felipe Dragovic. The name of the team, as you will see, is Flying Aces F1 team. And hopefully we can get into the season and start on a high note. Right now we're just looking through some upgrades. Got 1,000 resource points to play with. Looks like we're going to be upgrading the weight distribution on the plank of the car. Hopefully going to be able to get that in before the beginning of the season, or beginning of the season of the first race. And it looks like we're also going to get at least a little bit of durability on the gearbox to help with the car as well. So we're going to assimilate through the week and gain resource points and so on and so forth with activities and so on. But unfortunately, as we get closer to the beginning of the season, the chassis upgrade that we purchase is going to fail, and we're going to have to repurchase that. That way we can have it into the beginning of the second race or second weekend. I was really hoping to get that upgrade as soon as possible before the season even began, but unfortunately it looks like it's not going to be able to happen. So with that repurchase, we are going to be heading into the first race weekend of the season, heading to Bahrain, and hopefully going to have a pretty decent qualifying and hopefully maybe get out of Q3, but not any major hopes on that. Hopefully have a good race, but we will see. So let's head into the first part of qualifying. As we start our first Q1 lap, we are going to ride along with it. First lap of the season, driving it in anger, gonna slam on the brakes in turn one, carry the speed as much as possible, be ever so gently on the power, that way we don't lose the rear end. I've noticed that through the turn 1 and 2, I can't really put the traction down as much as the AI can, so that's where I'm going to be lacking in the lap. But unfortunately, on our first flying lap, we are going to lose the rear end, get a little snap of oversteer, try to correct it, but we are off into the gravel trap. So we're going to stay on this set of tires, go for a second run. Hopefully we're able to keep the car in a straight line and finish the lap as cleanly as possible, and hopefully get us into Q2, if not maybe Q3. Highly doubt Q3, but at least maybe Q2. Goal right now is definitely a P15-ish, I would say. But coming into the same spot where we lost it, getting ever so gently on the gas and trying to hold on to the grip. And it looks like we are able to survive that and head into the center S's going downhill. Slam on the brakes, heavy braking zone, take it nice and easy. Don't want to get on the power too early, that way we lose traction on the rear end. Heading into this very tricky corner, downhill into a hairpin. Don't want to get on the curbs too much, or you're going to beach the car and it's going to lose so much track time, or lap time, and it's just going to ruin your lap. Have DRS wide open, another heavy braking zone. Let the car roll through ever so gently, just apply the throttle. Find that level of grip, and heading into the final sector, we are obviously up because of our first lap having that mistake. As we head down to the back straight into the final corner, hopefully we are able to get a pretty decent position, that way we are able to not work as hard as our second run into Q1 into Q2. Over the line, it looks like that is going to put us at a P6, but as we know, that's not representative because we have a lot of people that did not set their times. And as we come on to our flying second lap, we are hitting some major traffic, really going to hold us up. Hopefully we are able to dispatch this as soon as possible, that way we can get a good clean run and some clean air, and hopefully gain a position, or gain positions as qualifying comes to an end. As we come onto the main straight, looks like we have cleared that traffic, have a pretty decent pocket of air. DRS wide open, comes streaming down into turn 1. Again, another heavy braking zone, slam on the brakes down a second, let the car roll through, be ever so gently on the throttle. That way we do not lose the rear end. Pretty smooth through there. DRS wide open again. Hopefully we were able to gain some time. It looks like we've already gained almost 3/10 just through the first sector. Oh, big snap of oversteer, but we were able to hold on to it. Got on the power a little too early, but we are still about 2/10 up, so that is positive improvement, of course. Trying to be on the throttle as easy as possible, coming down to this tricky braking zone. Got on the curb a little too much, kind of beached the car, but we were able to roll the car through. That lost us a good decent amount of time. So as of right now, it looks like we are going to improve, but just barely. Hopefully we were able to make it out of Q3, but if we aren't able to gain another 10th or 2 through this lap, I don't see us getting out of Q1. My apologies. Letting the car roll through, get on the power as soon as possible, down the back straight. Heading into the final corner, letting the car roll through and get on the power as soon as possible onto the final run to the finish line. A little snap of oversteer, but it looks like we are going to improve, but only by 0.03 of a second, and it looks like we are not going to be able to make it into Q2. And it looks like Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin was the surprise knockout of Q1. And also, Kevin Magnussen picked up a 5-place grid penalty. Looks like he may have had some contact with another driver. But on that note, let's head into the first race of the season at the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit, with the best, of course, at turn 1, and then another soon after into turn 4. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and we could see 1 or 2 flat spots into that tight left-hander of turn 10. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Gasly, Norris, Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Hülkenberg, Joe, Albon, Stroll, the owner driver, Magnussen, De Vries, Sargent, Drugovich, and Yuki Tsunoda. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So as we head into the beginning of the race, looking at the pit strategy, going to be doing a 1-stop on the mediums, 2 hards. And if you did see, it was a Ferrari lockout. Charles Leclerc on pole with Carlos Sainz P2, and then an all Red Bull second row, as well as an all Mercedes third row. As we get ready for race, getting the formation lap set into place, trying to get as good as a start as possible. Pretty decent parking job, get the tires nice and warmed up. Hopefully we're able to get a good launch into turn 1, making up some positions. As we head to 5 red lights, getting the RPMs as high as possible. And 5 red lights out, and we are away at the Bahrain Grand Prix, getting a pretty good start, looking to make up some positions, getting the power down as soon as possible. We are gaining 3, 4, 5 positions, looking for maybe even more around the outside of turn 1, trying to get a little contact, but a little snap oversteer. Looks like we made some contact with Piastri, but it looks like we all survived, no damage done. Coming into turn 3, we were trying to get the power down, use some battery, try to hold off Piastri. Looks like he's coming back on the inside. Are we able to swoop around the outside? Got plenty of grip on lap 1, and we were able to hold that position. We have gained so many positions on the first lap of the race so far, looking at some damage, but fortunately we did not get any with that contact with Piastri, so that is some good news. Out of the first half of the lap of the first race of the season, we are already up into the points. What an amazing start on our behalf. Now looking to chase down Esteban Ocon as well as Lando Norris. Hopefully we're able to stay within the slipstream and pull away from Piastri from behind, as well as maybe even looking for an opportunity to overtake Ocon if there was some battling ahead. But right now, what an amazing start from our starting position all the way up into points. Going a little bit wide through that corner. A little snap of oversteer, but no harm, no foul. What an amazing start, as I keep saying. P10, we are already into the points. Hopefully we can carry this momentum into the rest of the race. And as we start to get into the flow of the race, we are able to hopefully hold off Piastri. Coming on to lap 2, we are trying to break the toe of Piastri behind, but also maybe pushing Ocon into a mistake. But it looks like we spot our braking point pretty nicely, carry the speed down into first gear. And as we head into turn 2 and 3, we are trying to hold Piastri off behind, but it looks like he got a better run, going heavily defensive into turn 3, spot our braking point, kind of compromised our exit, but we are able to hold him off into the center S's. Let's go back and look at the start of the race, some replays for you. That is us on the outside, just getting a much better launch off of the grid, and we were able to swoop around the outside of Piastri. Right there's a low contact going 4 wide, but luckily it doesn't look like there's a lot of damage done to me, Piastri, or the 2 Aston Martins. And as we head into the rest of the lap, holding off Piastri as we know. Jumping forward to the beginning of lap 4, DRS is enabled, so we are possibly looking for an overtake onto Ocon. Spot our braking point, go a big dive bomb, heavy on the brakes, late on the brakes as well, trying to get alongside him. Get a little bit of a cutback, get a second dose of DRS, possibly looking for a complete overtake into turn 3. He gives us the room. We were able to sneak up on the inside, and that big snap of oversteer as well, but we are able to hold off onto it as Alonso also gets back up past Esteban Ocon. That is us up into P9. What an amazing start of the season for us. Hopefully we can carry this into the rest of the season as well as this race. Jumping on to lap 5. Looks like it is going to be a little bit as a little hectic race. Tire wear is starting to kick in ever so slightly, but hopefully we're able to hold off Alonso behind us. He's looking very fast and very rapid. And it looks like Kevin Magnussen is out of the race only on lap 5. Let's get a replay of that. And it looks like it is a mechanical failure. He is pulling off onto the side of the track, and he is already done of this race on lap 5. As we jump back to our POV, we are coming out of the final turn on to lap 6. We're going to be going defensive on the main straight, but with Fernando Alonso having DRS on us, there's nothing we could really do. Tuck back into the slipstream and possibly get a good exit out of turn 2 to make a good overtake into turn 3. But it looks like he's able to get the power down a lot better than I am, and hopefully we are able to stick with him. But it looks like he's just able to tear off down the road. Coming into lap 7, looks like Fernando Alonso was able to catch up to Valtteri Bottas, and we are able to gain a little bit of time on them since they are dueling it out, but not going to be able to look into an overtake into turn 1, maybe into turn 3. Looks like they're going to be coming back, slowing each other down, and big mistake from the 2-time world champion. I end up going into the back of Valtteri Bottas, but looks like there was no damage done. It looked like pretty heavy contact, but luckily we were able to get through that unscathed and maybe look for an overtake down, and that was a very late move. I will say I was not really planning on that, but it was able to keep it clean, no damage done, and we were able to carry on as smoothly as possible. Coming into the third DRS zone, trying to get a good exit. DRS wide open. Got to make sure that we are keeping an eye on Esteban Ocon as well. That way he does not sneak into this battle and overtake us. Coming into the end of Sector 2 onto the beginning of Sector 3. Looks like Alonso is going to be coming back to Valtteri Bottas. Hopefully going to maybe look for a move into Turn 1. or maybe into the final turn. It looks like Alonso is alongside. Very defensive, a little contact right there. We are able to gain some time, and we are going to be swooping around the outside of Alonso. We got the DRS and slipstream. Hopefully we can make a pass on one or both of them. Valtteri is going to be going defensive, getting that speed up, heavy on the braking zone, trying to swoop around the outside. Taking it nice and easy, don't want to get any contact or damage, but we are able to sneak up on the inside of turn 2 from Fernando Alonso, but he's right there alongside us. Hopefully we can hold him off into turn 3, maybe look for an overtake, and we're going to be doing just that. Late on the brakes, Valtteri leaves the space, and we are able to sneak up on the inside of the third corner of the circuit, and that is us up into P8. What an amazing start of the season. Hopefully we're able to hold on to this position and get some points on our debut of the F1 MyTeam career mode. But as we come on to lap 9, in the same corner that we just overtook Valtteri, we get on the power a little too early and we completely drop the rear end, and that is going to be us all the way down into P16, and that is a major mental mistake, and hopefully we were able to gain some positions back. But we jump on to lap 11. It looks like Alexander Albon and Nico Hülkenberg are going at it. Hopefully we were able to join that battle and gain some positions. Looks like they're going to be going side by side into turn 3, trying to go a little bit wide, get that cut back, but it looks like they are still side by side into the center S's, and getting it all out of shape. Hopefully looking for an overtake. A low contact with Albon, diving down, and big mistake on our part, and then we almost lose the rear end. With that heavy contact, we have broken our front wing, so we are going to have to come in to the pits at the end of this lap. It's a few laps earlier than what we had planned on, but around this track you need a front wing, and you'd be losing too much time if you didn't. Got DRS, battery deployed, going to be looking for another move on Albon, but it's not really going to be worth it because I'm going to be coming into the pits on this lap. As we are coming into pit lane, we are going to be turning in pretty nice and late. That way we are able to get the most optimal time out of the pit stop, which is 7.7 seconds with the front wing change. And we are off and away onto the hards. Hopefully we are able to bring something back into the rest of the race, but we will see. Nothing happened for the next 13 laps, so we were pretty consistent. So we come on to lap 15 as we are right behind Nico Hülkenberg that we made contact with. Hopefully we are able to maybe look for an overtake into turn 3 with DRS. It looks like he has too much traction, and we are not able to look for a move. Maybe into the center S's, into the hairpin. Stay within DRS. Try to fight the dirty air as much as possible. Use as much curve as possible, but it looks like he was able to hold us off. Maybe another snap of oversteer. I will say about this car, maybe it's just my drive style, but the oversteer is very hard to do. As you can see right here, we lose the rear end yet again for, I believe that is the third time, and we lose even more positions all the way down into last place. What started off as a good day went into an even worse day. But as we jump on to lap 22, we are going to make another mental mistake, getting on the power and losing a position to Nick DeVries. And my new nickname is going to be Nikita Mazepin, aka Mazaspin. But I'm not the only one that is spinning. As you can see, Nick DeVries spins as well. So that is going to be promoting us up to one position, so we are not going to finish last. But from there, nothing major happened on our behalf. Max Verstappen comes home to take the first victory of the 23 season. And yeah, what could have been for us, we were in the points, but too many mental mistakes cost us the chance of points on our debut.
That's a fantastic team effort then to secure victory here in the desert. Tell me, Ant, how do they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here. Let's have a quick
But
look
with
at
that
how the
win,
drivers'
Max
standings
Verstappen
have changed.
is going to
Max
take over
Verstappen now
the
leads the
Drivers' Championship
Championship.
lead
Let's focus on
after the
driver
first
of the
race,
day.
and it's
Nancy
going to be a
Davidson.
1-3 for Red Bull,
Max
which is
Verstappen
going
seemed
to
just effortlessly
promote
weave
them
through the
to
other drivers
the
today
first
without a care
position
in
in the
world.
Constructors'
He's
Championship.
definitely my driver of choice.
As of
Time to
our
see how
team,
things
it
are
looks like
shaping up in the
Felipe
Constructors'
Dragovic did pretty
Championship.
well on
And
his
Red Bull
drive. He was
take
able
over
to come
as
home in
championship
P17.
leaders.
Looks like it was a
And with
pretty
that, we wrap up
consistent
another weekend
drive
of motorsport
on his
action.
behalf,
But
but
with
on
more
my side of the
races lined
garage,
up,
not
be sure to
the
join us
greatest.
when we come back
As you can see,
with
Valtteri
more
Bottas,
Formula
who
One.
we were fighting, was just outside the points. So if it was not for those mistakes, we could have been fighting for points on our debut. But you live, you learn, and hopefully we are able to bounce back into round 2 and the rest of the season, and hopefully gain some points in the Constructors' Championship. But the fight is still there, and we are hunting for points. On that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys will enjoy the rest of my videos as well as the rest of this continuation of My Team Career Mode. And I will see you guys in the next video.